How's it going, everyone? We're here, round 12 of Breakout Racing League around Silverstone. I'm joined here with Saxman tonight.
Hey, what's going on, man? Tier 4 commentator stepping up to Tier 1 tonight, so I feel like the big time. How are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good. Excited to see some good racing here around Britain.
Yes, Tier 1 here in BRL is extremely competitive. I hate to say it, I was in Tier 1 at one point and got demoted, but that is okay because these guys are super quick. I recognize a lot of these names, so I'm looking forward to a great race.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to some quick laps here in qualifying and some great battling in the race. Um,
I
we're loading up into the lobby.
Yeah, these guys getting ready to slap on their setups. I imagine you and I talked a bit about it before the stream started, but 23s, mid 23s, you think? How low in the 23s do we go? Is it
Oh, I'm thinking maybe quickest maybe 20, 23, 8, 23, 7, but I'm not quite sure. That's gonna be real quick though. I can tell you that.
I imagine the midfields, and I do recognize some of the guys looking at the points that would be in the midfield are extremely fast drivers. It will be probably in the low 24s. So I imagine the grid here to be set apart by probably at least the top 15 guys by no less than a second, or no more than a second, I should say.
Yep. So looks like we got a Ginger and BRL Neymar trying to start on the mediums here on their first flying laps.
Neymar made the jump from Tier 2 up to Tier 1 early in the season. He's extremely quick, fun driver to race alongside. He's very clean. So he's going to be our first guy out on a medium tire, like you said. And what are your thoughts on that medium tire? You think anybody's going to take a stab at starting on that tire? It's not the quickest strategy, but it may be beneficial if there's an early safety car.
Yeah, the medium soft, probably not quicker, but it could be an interesting strategy to try to do the overcut and then come out on the quicker tire at the end of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. This track, very high speed. A lot of not too many heavy braking zones, but there are some moments where you do have to be on the brakes. So threshold braking can gain you an advantage. Low downforce track, tire wear pretty moderate, not too bad. Kind of depends on what kind of setup you're running. So some of these guys will be quick in the early parts of the stint. Some guys maybe set up their cars to be quick throughout their stint, but maybe lacking straight line speed or that one lap pace. And then some guys maybe be quicker at the end of their stint.
Yeah, as we see Neymar on his warm-up lap, going through the famous Maggots and Beckett's, the fun sequence of corners. As Neymar's coming up here to the final chicane, he's going to start his flying lap on the medium tire. Let's see what he can put in.
And Neymar looking very quick, but he had to have a pretty quick out lap on those medium tires. They do take about a lap to get up to temperature. And so the first part of this lap, as we see him do lock up, those tire temps can be a little bit on the lower end. But maybe just trying to get a Baker lap in here in that Haas car. Oh, he's going to lose it.
Oh, he's going to lose it right before the straight. We're going to jump back with
he does a great
Chandler
job
Saita
of getting out of the way. Chandler Saita, a very quick driver. I haven't been paying too much attention to the point standings in Tier 1, but surprised to see him a little bit down the order. But he's had some tremendous results here in the last few races.
Oh, yeah, he's past 4 races. He's been on the podium all but one time. Last week in Austria, he came P4. But if you didn't know, Tier 1 here, no assists, no lines, so it takes a lot of skill for these drivers to go around the tracks. High speed, takes a lot of guts, keep it on the track, so going through Maggots and Beckett's into the DRS zone. Let's see what Chandler can get it.
A lot of these guys
Purple sector 1.
take a shallow line out of Maggots Beckett's onto the hanger straights, and can't save you a bit of time, not too much, but you almost need every bit of advantage you can get as he's making his way through the chicane and through the penultimate corner. Looks pretty much like a steady lap so far.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. It looks like he's going to do a banker of 124.2. Very good banker lap. Let's jump back with Jared as he starts his flying lap on the softs. Teammates with New Zealand Ryan, who is first place in the standings. Mercedes, the constructor, top of the constructor standings. Over 100-point gap to second place. So Mercedes looking good here through the first half of the season as we start the latter stages of Season 5.
Yeah, Jared and Ryan absolutely on a tear in that Mercedes. The black Mercedes looking very, very nice right now for Jared. It's very nice and tidy. Car is very pointy, looks gripped up, and he's going to get a nice exit using all the curb there. And it's going to get a nice run down the back straightaway here. So I imagine the Mercedes guys, if I had to take a bet on it, are going to have a pretty good result tonight. Both drivers extremely, extremely quick. So we'll see what he does here through Megan's and Beckett's.
Yeah, I just got information, Saxman, that it is a wet race tonight here on Silverstone. So it's going to be some fun racing.
Yeah, absolutely fun racing in the wet here. So we're going to have very, very interesting races. We see who's going to go for a little bit more of a wet setup and some who maybe opt for a little bit more of a drier setup. So now that we know that, man, predictions for qualifying, now that we know we may not see a 123 time frame or time lap.
Yeah, it depends if they put on their wet setup or not. Chandler with a 24.2, that's real quick for a banker with a wet setup. So
yeah, absolutely. As we see Jared, he's going to run P2 with a 124.4. So putting in a very nice lap, and then we can already see how tight the field is going to be as we see P2 down to P6, separated by no less than over a tenth of a second. So that's pretty astonishing and pretty impressive.
yeah, it looks like we got GSR Axe coming down the hangar straight. Looks like a decent lap here. He just got called up to Tier 1. I'm pretty sure 2 rounds ago. Ooh, as he cuts inside a little bit onto the grass. See where he ends up.
BRL Williams into the pit. He's in the pink Mercedes, the Racing Points. I have commentated with him. I know he's pretty ecstatic about his pace so far in Tier 1. See what he has on deck for us. Any guys out there on laps right now? Axe just starting his.
It looks like, I believe Axe just finished his lap, but I am on board with Ryan. Rapid first sector, 26.7 split.
Wow.
Setting the new quickest, so.
That's impressive. I love watching these guys because it's like, even just being in Tier 2, you see these guys jump in these cars and see what they're able to do through some of these corners, and you're like, I feel like I'm on the edge, and they just take it that much quicker. So, impressive.
Yeah. They practice all week, and then you see it on track, and it's just their pace is astonishing.
They're hooked up for sure. So let's see here. Neymar back on the soft tire. He was on the mediums. He tried that medium run, didn't work out. Looks like he's on an out lap or a hot lap right now, I should say.
Ryan with a little bit of a lockup going into the final chicane. Let's see what he sets. Will he be on provisional pole?
Wow.
Oh, 24.
Almost into the
24
23s.
flat, yeah.
That's
We're going to
so
jump
cool.
back on board with BRL Neymar on the softs. He did spin early on the mediums, maybe struggling with traction, not warming those things up on his warm-up lap.
Yeah, he's making his way through Beckett's. Car looks maybe a little unsettled. It may just be set up. But again, I don't have much room to talk, man. These guys are the pros, if you ask me, and I'm sure he'll put in a very, very impressive lap right here as he makes his way to the end of the hangar straight, throws it in. Oh, as we have a ADR Ferrari driver into the wall there on the pit entry.
Yeah, right. We watched it happen right on BRL Neymar's point of view.
Oh, he's going to invalidate.
Yeah, invalidate. That's very unlucky from Neymar.
Oh, and he's going to lose it here.
Oh, and he spins.
So a bit of frustration here from Neymar. He invalidated coming onto the front straightaway. I didn't think he would get that, but Cody's just seemed to have been very strict with track limits this game, so he's going to catch a invalidation on what looked like a pretty solid lap. So I know he's a little bit frustrated there, but he'll be able to make it back around and possibly get a couple more tries in.
Yeah, we do have 9 minutes here left in quali. As we saw, Biro Parandi sets the new fastest lap of the session, half a second quicker than New Zealand Ryan. So Parandi's bringing it to him here today.
Yeah, Parandi.
He's sitting P2 in the championship, 52 points behind Ryan, with I believe 10 more races to go. So still in the fight.
Still in the fight. 2 races back. Parandi not had the type of success that Ryan has had. Ryan went on a tear there with 4 race wins in a row. But Parandi, very, very quick driver. I have to be honest, I have not seen him in action, but I just kind of knowing what I've heard about him and seeing so far, I imagine he's going to be a strong contender tonight. So I'll be excited to see. I'm on board with B-Dunk right now as he makes his way through maggots and maggots. B-Dunk, a very quick driver. He is on a controller. Some of these guys on a wheel. I'm always impressed with what B-Dunk can do with that controller. He's a very clean, steady driver. Great on the inputs. He makes his way down the back straightaway here. He's going to throw it in to the right-hander. He's going to put it right on the apex. So B-Dunk in the McLaren on a very quick lap. He's going to make his way into the final chicane. Takes a bit of an early entry, a little bit of a lock up there. Not too bad. Shouldn't cost him too much time. Takes a very tight exit. And he's just going to go up to P9. So improves on his time, but I imagine he'll be wanting to get back out there. I know he has more than 124.6 in him, so great job by the McLaren driver there.
Yeah, I do know that B-Dunk, I believe this is going to be his last race on controller as he just got a wheel.
Oh, did he? Nice.
He opted for the controller in today's race.
What kind of wheel is he going to be on?
I believe it's the Thrustmaster TX that he got. He's working on it. So
not bad, not bad.
We're going to be on board with Newton as he goes through the first sector here. Getting a little bit of a tow from the pink Mercedes.
Oh, and he's going to understeer a little bit right there in entry. He's going to plow the front of the car. Shouldn't cost him too much time.
Yeah, he goes the line through there, go a little deep, and then you can get the power down real early. Get a nice run all the way down to Cops. Flat out.
Ooh, he's a little sideways there.
Little sideways, that might compromise the lap. Let's see if he's up or down here at the sector 2 split.
Yeah,
he's gonna be 3 seconds or 3/10ths down. So
yeah, and that slide through the right-hander there off the back straightaway easily cost him a couple tenths, and he's gonna take a very, very tight line through there, nice and tidy. He's probably, well, I would imagine if he had enough fuel, he might be out of the ERS and saving it, but going for another lap, but he's going to cross the line here, up 4 tenths from his personal best of a 124.4. So not the cleanest of laps from ERS Ham Newton, but I imagine he'll be looking to improve here with just a little under 6 minutes of time left in Q1.
Yeah, I hop back on board with FinFan. He's going down almost to the final chicane. Oh, and he invalidates and heads right into the pits.
FinFan had some great pace here. I saw him in a league race a few nights ago. He's pretty quick. I know FinFan will be looking to get a solid result in. He's been steadily improving in this league and division, I should say. Has found a bit of bad luck, but I imagine FinFan looking to get a result here tonight as well as he makes a dive from pit road.
Yeah, I hopped on board with Ryan, sitting P2. He is up on his lap right now, going through maggots and beckets. See if he can take control of provisional pole as we are just hitting 5 minutes left in this qualifying session.
Man, Ryan looks like he's just
on the outside. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, he's gonna validate. He took a bit too much. I was just getting ready to say he's like maximizing track limits. I mean, you have to in this league, right? So
you gotta grab every 10th of a second you can get, every 100th of a second. Chandler Seda sets the purple second sector. Let's see what he can do here. He's gonna come across the line with a 124 flat, beating Parandi.
Just 10.
He's gonna take provisional pole.
10/100ths of a second quicker than Prandi. That's tight. That is very, very close there. As we can almost see the top three have gapped what looks like P4 down to P12 almost. Very, very tight qualifying order in place right now. Not much of a gap between some of these guys. So even if you're up even half of a tenth, you're going to be able to jump up quite a bit.
Yeah. If you're sitting in the midfield, half a tenth could bump you up 3 or 4 positions. So I'm on board with the Red Bull of Hoopalicious.
Hoop is a very, very quick driver. I've learned a lot from him, just watching him, following him on track for the few short seconds that I can keep up. Hoop's going to be on a nice lap here. He's going to get a little bit squirrely there on exit, but he's going to jump up to P3. A nice solid lap there by the Red Bull driver.
Yeah, jumps into P3. He told me before the race he's got the flu or he's sick tonight racing, so best of luck to him. Stay healthy during the race.
Yeah, don't want the flu, don't want COVID. So it sounds like Hooplish is facing a bit of adversity tonight. I know the Red Bull driver, just kind of seeing that last couple turns there, I think he could probably challenge here for a provisional pole, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't know if he's going to make it back around in time. It doesn't look that way. So he might be a little disappointed with that, but nonetheless, a great starting position for Hoopalicious.
Yeah, I'm on board with B-Dunk. He's up 3/10 in the first sector alone, so he's looking good so far in his flying lap.
B-Dunk using all the track here, taking the tight line as he makes his way into the sweeping right-hander here. Ooh, a little bit
a little bit of a lift.
Yeah, a little bit, not much. Takes a shallow line through Magnus and Beckett. That's going to cost him some time, but he keeps it nice and tight on the exit. He's still up on his best.
Slips a little bit.
He's still up on his best second two.
Up about 3/4 of a tenth. Let's see if he can improve his third sector here and maybe jump up. That little bit of an improvement will jump him up, though, well into the top 10. Coming across the line, he's going to set a 24.4, putting him in P7 from P11, so a tenth and a half did bump him up.
Yeah, not probably the lap B-Dunk is looking for, but nonetheless moves up to P7. Look how close it is, man. Just right there between Mean Fern and B-Dunk. Mean Fern, we haven't talked too much about him. He got a nice lap in there, flying under the radar like Mean Fern usually does, and right there with a 124.453. So. Jared.
Mean Fern having a solid season. He's no DNFs currently throughout the season, keeping it on the track and safe. So let's see. Hope he can stay consistent throughout the season. I'm on board with Prandi, sitting P2, trying to get that pole position.
Uses all the curb there, Prandi, in this yellow Renault. He's going to run into a bit of traffic that can be a little bit distracting for some of our drivers tonight. Stays flat out through there. That's awesome. Great job by the Renault driver. He's going to make his way through Magnus and Beckett's. Traffic may be playing a factor here. We'll have to wait and see. So we can see Chandler Seda in front of him. Yeah,
he's going to pick up a little bit of dirty air.
Yeah, that's going to cost him a little bit of time. He's probably frustrated. Gets a tow from Chandler Seda up the inside.
See if he can get on top of the leaderboard here. Only has to improve a little bit, but Chandler Seda is going to be on a flying lap on better track evolution right behind him, so see if he comes through.
Not able to do it. Man, the consistency though of these guys just to be running hundreds of a second higher or lower than their best laps, that's impressive.
Yeah, they stay very consistent. The great drivers do that. So we're on board with Chandler Seda, sitting on provisional pole right now, trying to improve his lap. A lot of traffic in Sector 1, everyone on flying laps, trying to get the perfect track evolution to get the fastest time they can get. Track all rubbered in, so see what Chandler can do here.
Real quick, Mean Fern across the line does not improve, starting provisionally in the 7th position, 124.453. Mean Fern, a consistent driver. As we have the pink market is Alan Hugo into the pits, frustrated with his performance tonight. as BRL Williams going to cross the line, does not improve. Stays P11, solid lap there from Williams in a 124.5 range. A lot of these guys abandoning their laps. Neymar's going to stay in it. He needs to get a lap in. Comes through the penultimate corner. Looks pretty solid. Jumps to P9.
Oh, he's going to bump 9.
Nice drive there.
We're going to go on board with back with Chandler Seidice. He's about to cross the line. Oh, the AI of Brandi.
Oh, no.
Oh, he crashes in. Oh, no.
That's disappointing.
That's very unlucky.
See, Oz Formula, did he jump? Yeah, he did jump up to P7. So Oz Formula.
Oh, and Ryan.
Ryan does PL 123.9. Impressive.
And I'm wondering what would happen if Chandler didn't get blocked, if he would have done a faster lap there. But he is sitting P2, so. But it is wet, let's remember. So track position could be key, fighting in the wet. No DRS.
Absolutely.
Opportunities to pass could be slight, so.
It's all down to the drivers. We do a quick run through New Zealand. Ryan sits P1, the only driver in the 123.9. Tremendous lap there. Chandler stayed in P2. Brandi P3. Hoopalicious gets a solid lap in there. Knocked out a bit early on track. Evolution just on time. P5 is going to be Fin. He snuck up there. Nice drive there by the Alfa Romeo driver to get P5 there.
Yeah.
Jared, Oz Formula make up 6th and 7th. Mean Fern in 8th. B-Dunk 9th. And Neymar does make it up to 10th position after having a little bit of a shaky start to qualify. So these guys are setting very, very competitive lap times.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see this race. I wonder if it was a dry race, if we would have seen some way quicker laps, but
I imagine
we're excited
so.
for this wet race, so.
Joe, I'm going to run real quick, man. I will be right back.
No problem. As we're going to take a little bit of a break here, and then we'll be back with the formation lap. And we're back here after a little bit of an intermission, as we see full wet weather here around Silverstone. The drivers coming through, trying to get most temperature they can, so they can stay on the track, get their brakes nice and hot. With no line in the wet, we could see some interesting lines through here. So it's gonna be a fun lap 1. If we take a quick look down the standings, Ryan on pole in the lead of the standings, and then Chandler Seidice, slow start to the season, but these past 4 races, as we said, has picked it up in P2. Brandi sitting P2 in the championship, qualified P3 here tonight. He's looking for a good result, trying to beat Ryan, close the gap to him in P1. And then Hoopalicious sitting P3 in the championship, staying consistent the whole year. Sitting P4. He is over 100 points off the lead, but fighting with Jared. Jared 4 points behind him, qualified P6. And then Hugo, Alan Hugo, off to a quick start after he joined round 6 in Spain. Already up to 60 points. He's had 2 podiums, including a win. So maybe he can make a surge from the back of the pack all the way up. As we're gonna have the front of our pack, New Zealand Ryan backing up the grid.
Yeah, these guys, New Zealand Ryan as yeah, it's a little bit sideways there, but those top 4 or 5 guys got out to a very quick out lap, trying to get as much heat into these wet tires as possible. You're going to need every bit of grip off the start.
Yep, we got the back of the pack.
Predictions
Unfortunate
for
qualifying for Mattia.
Predictions for the race win tonight, Joe?
I'm gonna have to go with Ryan, but it could really be anyone. I mean, in the wet conditions, one mistake could lead to a win.
So we're waiting for the lights to go out.
We're waiting here. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And we're gone. Oh, New Zealand no, Ryan jumps the start. Oh, and that's going to force him to a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, and he's going to get a poor exit out of the start of the race there. It's going to kind of bunch everybody up, and he does get away here. These guys going into unknown conditions that are only exploring option to kind of fill the track was on that out lap. So we see Williams back there run a bit wide.
It looks like Ferrandi does make his way up to P2 off the start. Chandler Saita dropping down to P3. As you look at the back of the pack, B-Dunk right on the back of number 1 Finn Fan.
It does.
And it looks like unlucky Mean Fern and Alan Hugo off the back of the pack.
Ginger Horizon making up the most places so far. The McLaren driver sits P6. Oz Formula finds some stuff in a McLaren sandwich. Oz Formula did run a bit wide there. B-Dunk up 2 positions so far. These guys are duking it out here in the back as I see New Zealand Ryan. His car did look ghosted there for a second, but it looks like he's back in this. He's going to have to come in pit, which is going to give Ferrandi currently net P1 on track position.
And Chandler Saita, I'm wondering, he might have damage. He's falling off drastically off the pack of Ferrandi and Ryan. I wonder if Ryan's going to take his drive through this lap or try to get a bigger gap, not lose out so much. But
yeah, not seeing any damage there on Chandler Saita, but he is. As we see New Zealand Ryan make a dive for the pit lane. Chandler Saita, a very quick driver. He's new to this no line thing. You got to wonder in the wets if it's a little bit touch and go, but he shows to be having enough pace here to stay in net P2. Hoopalish just hot on his tail as the intervals get all messed up here. Thank you, Cody's.
Yeah, it looks like someone grabbed a 5-second penalty. I didn't seem to see that. As Bureau Williams jumps into P2, Ferrandi has a... Or no, I'm sorry, that's just the intervals messing up.
And Alan
Ferrandi is out in front.
Alan Hugo in for a wing change. He's in as well as the AlphaTauri driver of who is that GSR Axe. So maybe a little bit of contact there in the back of the field. It does get a bit bunched up as New Zealand Ryan sets off to chase down those guys sitting up. Just looks like about 10 or 15 seconds or so in front of him.
Yeah, and Ryan, he's going to have a big task here to get back to the front of the pack, but safety car.
Yes.
Anything could happen.
Yes, absolutely. Safety car here tonight will be Ryan's best friend. I don't think the Mercedes driver is hoping for anything less here tonight.
We do have Chandler Saita dropping back a 1.5 seconds. Ferrandi taking a commanding lead here on the second lap of the race. Hoopalicious 7/10 to Chandler Saita, trying to make his way up. As our closest battle is Jared to Hoopalicious.
Yeah, Jared getting a good start, up 2 positions thus far. He kind of followed Hoopalicious through there, and Ferrandi, those guys are big movers in the top 5. They are pretty close, but you can't count out Finn Fan. He's hanging in there just down the order in P5. And B-Dunk trying to keep up there, kind of almost a second out of range there with those guys. But yes, Jared definitely chasing down Hoopalicious and try to make a move, but it's going to be tough here in the wet with no DRS.
Yeah, Ferrandi is building that gap, but as I jump back with Neymar, closest battle on track is with ERA's Ham Newton. Neymar new to line, so I wonder if he practiced for the wet conditions, keep his pace up. He's looking good so far, but he is dropped back, I believe, 4 positions, so see if he can battle his way back up.
Racing without line it can be a little bit tricky in the wet because there is a bit of track evolution as the dry line, as we do see it starting to come in just a tad bit. As we go to the chat section of our stream right now, Dark Ice Racer saying Chandler saving tire to go to the end of the race on them. Very, very nice prediction there. I'd be curious to see it happen. I don't think it can, but we'll have to just wait and see how Chandler Seda is going to play this one.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how long the wets do last, but if he is saving his tires, I mean, it could be a great strategy if it pays out, but tires may look horrible at the end of the race. We'll have to see. As B-Dunk closing in on FinFan.
Yeah,
our closest battle on track.
B-Dunk making his way up to FinFan here. The McLaren driver, it's a little bit squirrely on the exit there. Not going to lose too much time. He's going to be in the slipstream of FinFan.
Overtaking, as you said, I believe, Saxman, is going to be very difficult with no DRS. They're going to have to focus on their straight line speed with their setup, so that's all they got. And ERS overtake button, as you know we have, so.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot less passes on the entry into the corner here. It's all going to be about the exit. Who gets the better exit? Who can get that run down a straight? Even if it is a bit of a short one, it can make a difference here in the wet. As we see Ginger Horizon up 8 spots. Ginger Horizon, very, very quick driver. He's going to slot in behind B-Dunk, just a little bit over a second behind his teammate, who's still working on FinFan here.
I'm going to jump on board with B-Dunk. As we can see, the rain very coming down on board. Hard for these drivers to see, especially if they're running cockpit cam. It would be very difficult in the conditions, as FinFan runs a little wide. B-Dunk going to gain a little time. As at the back of the pack, Alan, Hugo, and Axe, unfortunately, battling back here.
Oh, FinFan gets a bad exit there, almost loses the rear of the car. This is going to allow B-Dunk to go up the inside. I know these guys are buddies. They're probably in a chat together, so maybe a little bit of conversation about there, but that's going to drop FinFan down to P6 and allow B-Dunk to make his move through the back straight away.
Oh.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yellow flag in Sector 1. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're okay, man. But
Axe is at a little spin.
A lot of action here on track tonight as we go down. See Axe, who did make that jump up from Tier 2, so he's definitely cutting his teeth tonight in the wet with no line. As we go back up to Jared, it's lost a bit of time to Hooplicious. He's still hanging in there, and really Chandler and Hoop and Jared all running net P2, 3, and 4 right now, but they're losing tons of time to our race leader Prandi.
Yeah, it looks like Prandi, he's trying to build the biggest gap. I think Chandler might be trying a little bit of an outside-the-box strategy, trying to go the whole race. I do want to inform on Ryan. He was 9 seconds back on me for now in 3, so he's trying to get back up there into the points. And as I talked about before, I believe you're gone, Prandi looking... This is exactly what he wanted for his championship fight.
Absolutely.
For the win, and then, yeah, so...
Currently sitting 52 points down the order from Ryan, who is our championship leader right now. Prandi, if he can get out of this race tonight, I think would be pretty happy with just any significant amount of points on Ryan if he's unable to score any and make his way up into the top 10.
Yeah, as I look at the points here, it looks like ABR Madia scoreless through his first 4 races after he joined in Baku, sitting in the points, so he'd be happy with his first points of the season, build confidence, and try to get back up there in the standings.
Namer picking up a 3-second time penalty there. ABR also, I think I saw him pick up a 3-second earlier. But absolutely, 100% Joe, agree with you there. The ABR, I think, would be 100% stoked with a points finish here tonight in the wet, at a very challenging track, even when it's dry.
And I am riding with Jared. He's getting very close to Hoopalicious, maybe sizing up a move here. Going to start lap 6 of our race here.
Did Ginger Horizon spin? Or I mean, he's dropped down the order. He was sitting at P7, so BRL Williams definitely making it through there on the McLaren driver. Oh, as Ginger comes to his curse, loses the rear end of the car onto the front straightaway. He's going to lose a bit of time, and this is going to allow ABR to make the move on the outside into turn 1.
Yeah, and that's...
Go ahead, man.
That's a perfect example of how you need to get the best run, because he was well ahead of Madia, and bad run, he'd get past easily, so...
Madia's driving style is very interesting. I do want to comment on it because it's very Fernando Alonso-esque from his Renault days. ABR introducing a bit of understeer in the car in his driving style, maybe trying to find the limits of grip in the wet here. So fun to watch. Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, as Fernando Alonso won a championship, as Jared going into Cops, very close to Hoopalicious. It looks like he's getting held back a little bit, but
Yeah, looks like
he's hoping to get past quickly.
Hoop looks like, I know, oh, that's going to be real tight, guys. Keep it clean, keep it clean. As Hoop gets a little bit of a bad run there on the exit of Maggots, excuse me. And it looks like Hoop might even be out of ERS. No, he's not. Just the blinking light. He has 60%, but he's on the button, as is Jared. And Jared's going to send it up the inside at the end of the back straightaway there. Nice drive and pass by Jared to take P3.
I did see on the entrance of Maggots and Beckett's, he did pick up a 3-second time penalty. A little bit of a corner cut there. That'll set him back. But he's going to try to pull a gap. He's already 6/10 ahead of Hoopalicious, so that shows the pace difference between the two.
Absolutely. Jared's going to set on into the distance and try to chase down Chandler Seda. He has quite a bit of work to do. He's not that far down, but a little over 2 seconds.
Yeah, it looks like the pack is spread out a little bit, but coming up to the back of the pack is New Zealand Ryan, as we got a big train fighting for 10th place, led by ERS Ham Newton, as Ryan's going to try to make a move on Mean Fern.
Ham Newton passing Ginger Horizon there through Arena, coming down into Brooklands. Neymar's going to go up the inside of the McLaren driver, who's struggling massively for grip, it appears. Maybe overheating those wet tires. Neymar trying to make a move on the outside. Through left field, does not able to do it.
Yeah, it looks like it's a big fight here for P9, as they're all within about 2 seconds.
Neymar loses it, but Ginger Horizon pulls to the inside. What the heck's going on here?
Not quite sure. Oh, an Axe. He's going to retire in the pits. Unlucky for him tonight.
Ryan goes...
As Ryan...
Yeah, go ahead.
Ryan sends it down the inside in Maggots and Beckett's. Bold driving from him.
Yeah, Joe, he has to make the... No, you're good, man. You're good. I love it. He is definitely has a tall order on his hands tonight. He's trying to make the most of working his way up through the field here. Makes it down the back of the hangar straight into Stowe. He's watching this battle currently between Oz Formula and Neymar. And they're pushing up on the back of ERS Ham Newton right now as they make their way now through Club.
Oh, yeah, the fight's good. Oh, Ginger Horizon pits, possibly having damage. Oh, and he's going to retire. Struggling for grip.
McLaren driver made a setup all wrong tonight. Ginger Horizon, uncharacteristic of him. He's usually very quick. So we see Ryan send it up the inside of Oz Formula. Ryan threading the needle there, has to keep it clean. The McLaren driver, or excuse me, the Mercedes driver working his way up through the field here does not want to pick up any damage.
After Ryan jumped the start, I mean, he's got to be hungry to get back up into the points. Very unlucky. Looks like Neymar's going to let him by.
Nice sportsmanship there from the Haas driver. Understand that Ryan has way more pace than him, doesn't want to hold him up. These guys picking their battles appropriately.
I am going to jump up P7 Bureau Williams. He's caught up to the back of FinFan. Going into the...
Yeah, Adam Hugo's going to retire from the session. That's not going to bid well for his championship. Sorry to interrupt you, Joe. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine. Oz Formula, he's sizing up a move on Neymar back here. But the race so far been exciting as Pirandi builds a gap even farther. I wonder if he's going to try to go on the end and go to the end with these wet tires.
BRL Williams gets a poor exit there out of Stowe, almost loses the end of the car. He's trying to work on FinFan here. FinFan defending in a very smart fashion, I should say. Since P6 right now, it's a better run there out of Club. Let's see what's going to happen here as these drivers make their way through turn 1. And FinFan opened up a bit of a gap there on Williams.
And I do want to say DRC Jared gaining dramatically on P2 Chandler Saida. Stuck behind Hoopalicious. He did just set the fastest lap, so it looks like his pace behind the Red Bull of Hoopalicious was set back as he's going to try to fight up to Chandler Saita and grab that P2 currently on track.
Yeah, Jared, when he made that move around Hoopalicious, was a little over 2 seconds down the order from Chandler Saita. Brings that gap now to 1.3, so he's made up a second in just a handful of laps here. Chandler Saita now almost 5 seconds adrift of our race leader, Parandi, who sits currently P1 in that Renault, and he is doing a fantastic job up in front today.
Oh yeah, his pace is looking great. He's going to try to hold on to this. I don't believe he has any penalties currently, so it's looking good for him. If Chandler does go to the end, then he is looking good, but I'm not sure what Parandi is going to do for strategy-wise.
Namer, ERS, Ham Newton, Mean Fern, battling coming out of Maggots and Beckett's, make their way onto the back straightaway, if you will. The hanger straight, at least. Those guys are going to be a little bit of a train here as we see Namer defend to the inside, works his way back out to the outside of the track for the braking zone. Ham Newton runs a bit deep there. That's going to compromise his corner there. That's going to allow Mean Fern to kind of just close up ever so slowly on this pack here.
I'm not sure if it's just me, Saxman, but it does look like it's getting... The sun looks like it might be coming out a little bit. I'm not sure, though. It's getting a little lighter on track by the looks of it, but...
A little bit lighter out there, I do agree. The racing line still intact from the conditions we saw there at the beginning of the race. The rain's still coming down. I imagine these guys are going to probably just kind of wait and see. What do you think, Bud? I don't know if inners is an option here, but we just don't have Jeff on the radio with us tonight up in the booth.
From what we've heard from Chandler, I'm expecting it to be wet the whole time if he's trying to save tires to go to the end. But it could lighten up towards the inters at the end. I'm not quite sure, as Williams getting very close as Jared breaks into a second of Chandler Saita.
The track slick nonetheless. Parandi now up 5.2 seconds on Chandler Saita, as you said. I wonder if he's just going for the all-out. Let me just be the quickest driver tonight. I'm going to make a stop. I understand that. And just rely on my pace to get the job done tonight.
As Neymar picks up a 3-second penalty. Yeah, Parandi, he could pit, and if he comes out on the fresher tire, as it looks like he's pushing right now, sets the new fastest lap, trying to build his gap. If he's going to go in, he's going to have to come back through the pack, depending on the strategies of the other drivers.
And B-Dog picking up a 3-second time penalty there. He sits currently P5. He is 4.3 seconds behind Hoopalicious. He's kind of off in no man's land. His friend and buddy FinFan down the order defending against VRL Williams right now.
I don't mean to interrupt,
go ahead,
Sax, but it looks like Ryan's going to go down the inside of Mattia to get into P8.
Yeah.
Oh, is he ghosted?
He is ghosted, man. And I noticed he was ghosted at the beginning of the race, so a little bit of an advantage here to kind of be able to still take the racing line you want as a ghost, but nonetheless, showing his quick pace. I think he set a purple lap not too long ago, either last lap or the lap before.
Not sure what's going on. Cody's being Cody's, I guess. But it's a shame that they aren't able to battle here. They're just inside of each other.
And Ryan able to put that car where he wants on the track. It's interesting to watch the two drivers. When you are ghosted like this, you can see where one picks up the throttle and the other is braking and maybe letting the car rotate. But Ryan just super quick. You can see he's able to just go a bit deeper and pick up the throttle a lot sooner, even against a quick driver like ABR Mattia.
Yeah, as Jared up at the front in the podium, final podium position, he's gaining drastically on Chandler Saita. Dropped within half a second now, so maybe we're gonna see a move here on lap 12. Maybe first sector down the inside of the hairpin, or possibly later in the lap, but we're gonna find out.
Jared working on the back of Chandler Saita here. Chandler just controlling the pace. Jared, though, has made up 2 seconds in a handful of laps as we're coming up on almost the halfway point of tonight's Grand Prix here with Tier 1 Breakout Racing League. Thank you guys for joining us on the stream tonight. I'm seeing a lot of great comments in the chat section of the stream. I got Joe with me.
Yeah, me and Saxman, we got 21 viewers currently in here. Want to thank you all for coming out, supporting Tier 1.
So what do you think the strategy is, Joe, for some of these guys? They maybe spread out, or maybe they drift a bit of the guy in front of them. Do you think they try to go for an undercut? Do you maybe think that they're just going to stay out and try to do this all on the same tire, start to finish?
I think the no stop would be a risky strategy. So, depending on how the tires are, I think we could see someone coming into pit, maybe in the next few laps.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the setup here. Some of these guys are running a bit more of a wet setup than others, as we see New Zealand Ryan now 2 seconds ahead of ADR, who he was battling. He's making quick work. Now up to P8, 4 seconds of drift of ERL Williams and Finn Van, who continue to battle here. Williams getting very frustrated behind the Alfa Romeo driver. Saw him waving down the back straightaway there. What used to be the old start-finish line straight here at Great Britain. Go ahead.
Don't mean to interrupt, but it looks like, as we do see Williams going for the undercut and Jared going for the undercut, putting on fresh wets here halfway through the race. So let's see how the pace, what the pace difference is. As Ryan sets your new fastest lap, he's gonna bump up to P6 after the pitting of Jared and Williams.
We got to thank Amazon Web Services, AWS, for giving us the strategy tonight. You guys saw it at the beginning. You can do this on a 2-stop and a 1-stop, but some say that you can do this if you're Chandler Seda, at least on the no stop. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and I see Bureau Williams dropping down to the back of the pack. I wonder if he had to get a nose change battling with FinFan. By the looks of it, that's what happened.
Yeah, he is well down the order. He did come in. Ryan not too far behind him, but Ryan up in P6 now, and Williams finds himself in P13. So I wonder if there was a wing change there or spin on the Racing Point driver's behalf.
Currently, huge gaps between most of the top 10, as our nearest battle is between, for the final points position, Ham Newton and Neymar, and Meanfern as well.
Yeah, those guys continue to duke it out in the back. ERS, Ham Newton behind Neymar, Meanfern not too far behind. Those guys very consistent drivers. They're looking for a good result tonight, but they just sit right there on the fringe of P10, which is the final points game position. And so I imagine either one of these guys in the Williams or the AlphaTauri team would like to get that final point.
Yeah, after a poor start at the beginning, looks like, I believe Neymar dropped down. I'm not sure about Ham Newton, but Meanfern dropped down, and they're just trying to battle for the final position. Jared, on the fresh tires, is very quick, catching up to Oz Formula within his outlap, as it looks like the pit window is just opening for the one-stop strategy.
Yeah, not a bad place to stop. As we saw Jared go for the undercut, he's going to go up the inside of Oz Formula. Very tight here between the two drivers. Oz leaving just enough room. Oz Formula, a very, very courteous driver. Raced with him in Tier 2 for a bit before he made the jump to Tier 1, but that's going to move Jared to P8. Now sits 5 seconds adrift of ABR.
Look at the traction difference between the fresh tires and the old tires. The run Jared gets out of there is an amazing 6/10 in the straight. So the stopping in the race might be the better strategy.
Could be the better
on pace.
Yeah, it could be the better strategy. You definitely don't want to be caught on the back foot, your back foot there. If somebody's trying to do the undercut on you, there's a huge pace advantage to having fresh, wet tires here at Britain. These guys able to make up a whole second, maybe more in a single lap, versus a guy that's maybe thinking of stopping a lap or two later.
Yeah, as it looks like Ryan has pulled 8 seconds from Mattia as he passed him, I believe, 2 laps ago, lap 13. So the pace for Ryan is outstanding as he comes up to FinFan.
FinFan probably not going to defend too hard here. Mercedes driver very, very quick now, just half a second off the back of the Alfa Romeo. As we see, Ryan's been making quick work of some of these guys. A lot of respect shown his way. Some of these guys knowing he is one of the quickest, if not the quickest drivers on Xbox, and we're happy to have him here in the Breakout Racing League. We see him send it up the inside there. FinFan slots back in. Decides not to battle too hard.
And if you're just joining us here in the stream, the new viewers, Ryan did sit on pole after qualifying, but he did jump the gun at the start, so had to deal with a drive-through penalty, fighting his way back from last place as he sits P5, looking about 20 seconds, 15-20 seconds from the leader. So,
not too bad. B-Dunk actually starting to make some time up on Hoopalicious. Hoopalicious was about 4.25 seconds up on B-Dunk.
Ooh, and I hate to interrupt. Badia just went into the side of Jared. Looks like a little bit of oversteers. Jared on the fresh tires has the pace advantage. Badia struggling on the old tires. But as you were saying, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good, man. It's just B-Dunk made up a bit of time on Hoopalicious. That gap now up from where it was. It had come down to 3 seconds now at 3.5. Wonder if Hoop just made a tiny mistake there. But if you're B-Dunk, I imagine you're wanting to probably, if you're not going to take this to the end and you're going to do a stop, you'd want to do it before Hoopalicious does and maybe close that gap with the huge undercut.
Yeah, I think if they are going to pit, the undercut would be better, but at this stage in the race, if they haven't pit now, I don't think I would see the point in pitting at all. As Chandler Saita, he was saving his tires the whole race, we heard. He is gaining a little bit of time, slowly, on the race leader, Pirandi.
Absolutely. He still sits almost 6 seconds adrift of our race leader. Pirandi just setting the lightning pace here tonight in that Renault. But it's a balance, though, right, Joe? I think Chandler, in saving those tires, maybe did he let Pirandi get too far ahead of him? And now, even though he has maybe the tire advantage, is too far down the order to make a huge leap up to challenge?
Yeah, it looks like Pirandi, it doesn't look like he's going to stop, and Chandler, unless he has drastically better tires, I think he possibly made the wrong call. He's dropped so far back, as you said. He's going to have to push all the way to the end to get past Pirandi, and the overtaking chance could be slim. It could be down to the line, depending on how the tires look, but
yeah,
it might be a good one to the end.
Now down the order with P3, the Red Bull driver, Hoopalicious, now losing even more time to Chandler Saita in front of him, over 8 seconds adrift. B-Dunk closing rapidly on the back of P3. This, if B-Dunk can pull this off, would be his best result in the season thus far. I know the McLaren driver would be extremely happy with a podium tonight here in Tier 1.
Yeah. I believe last race on his controller, so if he could send his controller goodbye with a nice podium.
I don't think he will. I think B-Dunk will realize just how much of a learning curve he has with Wills. We see Ryan's another blistering lap of 138.6, but no, I admire B-Dunk mid-season trying to make that jump to Will, but I imagine he'll probably be back on the controller as he kind of transitions there. But nonetheless, New Zealand Ryan now a hair under 4 seconds behind the McLaren driver of B-Dunk.
Yeah, and it's going to be close here, as B-Dunk is gaining on Hoopalicious in front, but we're going to see if B-Dunk gets to Hoopalicious before Ryan can get to him. It's going to be close.
It's been close. New Zealand Ryan running out of a bit of time here. We're now 17 laps into this race. He has 10 left to go to try to make it up anywhere near the podium finishing positions. But he is making up time on B-Dunk, who I imagine is going to be wanting to make that move on Hoopalicious sooner than later.
And as I jump back here in the pack with Neymar and Ham Newton and Meanfern and B.R. Williams on the fresh tires coming up back to this four train of cars. These drivers have been battling the whole race in the back of the pack, battling for the final point. And Williams, looks like he's going to try to make a move on the fresher tires, better traction.
These guys defending very hard.
Pull to the inside.
Williams and Jared, the only drivers to do a one-stop strategy thus far. Williams with the definite tire advantage. I'm sure he's a bit frustrated tonight. Was doing a marvelous job up in the top 10, but he finds himself in P12. But he should be able to make quick work of these guys right now.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate for him. He did have to make.
Oh, Jared's in
I wonder if his. Ooh.
I wonder what happened. What's going on here? Let's see if he does a wing change.
Get a look. Yeah, we're gonna see if he gets to change the wing. It looks like they are ready to give him a wing change.
Yeah,
so.
he must have
Oh, and the inners getting put on
He's
for
putting the
Jared.
inners on. He's going to take a shot, but it looks like he found a bit of trouble there with the wing change. But nonetheless, this is going to drop the Mercedes driver all the way down the order to P13 and out of the points paying positions right now. Jared, very quick all night long, unfortunate to see.
Yeah, and Williams here on the fresh tires gets past Ham Newton, and it looks like he's sizing up Neymar on the fresher tires, so unlucky for him. He's only going to break back into the top 10.
B-Duck's going to pick up a 3-second time penalty. This is going to maybe hurt his hopes of a podium tonight. Take a look at the race director, because that's now going to start playing a factor in tonight's finishing order.
Yeah, we're going to jump onto the race director.
So Brodney, Chandler stated no penalties. Superlicious sitting on 2 warnings, no penalties, and B-Dunk sitting now with 3 seconds. Oh, excuse me, 6 seconds worth of penalties. So B-Dunk, if he's looking to finish on the podium, is not only going to have to make a move on Hoopalicious, but open up a 6-second gap.
Oh yeah, and we're going to... I wonder if Jared on the inners, it'll be quicker, but it looks like he's out of this race, 17 seconds behind. Unless we see a late safety car. I'm not sure if Jared has any chance to get back up into the points, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, Jared is struggling out there on the inners. He's going to be frustrated. I hate it for guys that it just seems to almost want to come together in quality and then fall apart in the race. And Jared's struggling on those enters. He's probably going to either make a dive for pit lane and come in, but no longer a contender tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, unlucky for him. He had to get a wing change. I wonder if he had a little bit of a spin or contact with someone. I'm not sure, but Aus Formula up into P8, 6/10 behind AB Armadia, so...
Oh, and Jared's around. This may bring out it definitely brings out a yellow flag in Sector 3, but he makes it back for pit lane.
Oh, and he's going to speed in the pit lane. I wonder if that's going to be the end for Jared tonight, as it is. Unlucky for him.
And there he is leaving. A bit of frustration. Again, I hate it from the Mercedes driver. Both Mercedes drivers finding a bit of bad luck here tonight. So for the Drivers' Championship, Ryan's still fighting every bit tooth and nail to get a good result tonight. But for the Constructors, some of these other guys can be able to make up some ground on the Mercedes team.
Yeah, and as I jump on board with Ryan, it looks like he's going to break within a second of B-Dunk, so... We're going to see this battle go down as Ryan... Very great driving today. Obviously the quickest on track. He's battled from last place all the way back up into 5th. Looking for 4th. And by the end of the race, he could be onto the podium. Who knows, as he sets the newest fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, he just keeps improving on his time. He is now well within a second of B-Dunk, who finds himself 2.5 seconds adrift to Hoopalicious. Maybe B-Dunk finding a bit of frustration, or at least battling frustration, and thought maybe he could get a podium tonight. He now finds himself defending against New Zealand Ryan, and we'll have to see and wait and watch to see if B-Dunk defends aggressively or not.
As Ryan looks like he's low on the ERS, under 30%, coming up to B-Dunk.
As
we're gonna look at...
we go to the chat real quick, a little bit of words from Jared, but maybe looks like he found a bit of trouble there with ABR Media making his way up through the field. Unfortunate again. As we see Ryan making his way through that sweeping right-hander into Maggots and Beckett's.
Looks like Jared, as I did say, Madia drove into Jared. That's unlucky for Jared. Madia might go to the stewards for that one. We're going to have to see, but we'll leave that to them as Ryan within 4/10 of B-Dunk here on the straight.
Yeah, Ryan carrying a bit more speed through Chapel there is going to take a bit of a tighter entry. B-Dunk looks to get the better exit here through Stowe as they make their way into Club. A little bit of a lock up there from the Mercedes driver. Try and push it up on the back of the gearbox of the McLaren driver of B-Dunk, who is, again, making up time to the driver in front of him of Hoopalicious. So this is going to be interesting. I know B-Dunk's going to want to defend just so he doesn't lose time to Hoop, but Ryan with a clear pace advantage right now, so we'll see what happens between these three drivers. They are fighting for the final podium step of P3 here tonight.
Yeah, and as Ryan came up to the back of B-Dunk, looks like B-Dunk is pushing now, as he did gain on Hoopalicious. Ryan overtake enabled, He's going to pull to the inside of B-Dunk. He's going to outbrake B-Dunk and take the position. He did ghost again, but looks like he's going to make the move stick on B-Dunk. And now he's fighting towards Hoopalicious, trying to get the final podium position with 4.5 laps left in this race. So it's going to be an interesting ending. Sax.
Yeah, if B-Dunk can stay on the back of New Zealand, Ryan might be able to tow the McLaren driver up to Hoopalicious, and then we can see a battle there for P4 between Hoop and B-Dunk. But B-Dunk does, again, have those time penalties to contend with. I haven't seen anything come across the bottom of our screen, at least, for Hoopalicious or Ryan. As we see Chandler Stata now starting to make up time. He's brought that gap down to 4.5 seconds to Brandi. But Brandi's still very much well in control of this race tonight.
Oh yeah, it might be a little too late for Chandler Stata. He really tried the one-stop. He tried the one-stop strategy like the rest, but it looks like he saved tires a lot more than he needed to. Pirandi does have worse tires by the look, but Chandler's gonna need to pull out some pace that we haven't seen from him tonight. But if he makes it back up to first place, props to him, as we have 4 laps remaining.
Yeah, I think Chandler Stata would be happy with a second place. It's definitely not the win. But, you know, after getting a slow start to the season and a 4th place at Austria last week, I think he'll be more than happy to notch another podium finish on this season, at least. And that may move him up over Jared, or at least move him closer, as we saw Jared retire earlier after contact with another driver tonight.
Yeah, and as I look at the standings, Hoopalicious, he's going to finish P3 right now, but Ryan coming close, not sure where he'll finish. He's going to build his gap from Jared from 4 points closer, higher in P3.
I'll tell you who will be really, really happy with his results tonight. FinFan in P6, the Alfa Romeo driver, doing a marvelous job here in the wet tonight. Hopefully he doesn't get the commentator's curse, but this will match his, won't match his best result, but it'll be one off, but nonetheless, another set of great finishes on deck for the Alfa Romeo driver.
Oh yeah, that'll be, I'm sorry, I think that is his best. His best is 8th place currently, so.
Oh, did I?
6th place.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. This would be his best position. I think I grabbed Namer's scrolling there on my screen, so you're correct, Joe. So, yeah, great job and great drive so far by FinFan, but don't want to curse him. Still has 4 laps to go, but I imagine he'll finish well up the order where he's at right now.
Oh, and AB Armadia takes a spin off track. He's going to get passed up by Ham Newton. Oh, and unlucky for him, he was looking for his first points finish. He is still in the points, but if he
and he's losing
he's
it
a
now.
puncture.
He's a puncture.
Rear puncture, I believe,
and
for Mattia.
No, he's a
front left.
Front left. Oh, and he's going to be right in front of Namer and Mean Fern as they come by. ABR going to be disappointed. He's into the pits.
That makes me wonder now, Saxman, if he's gotten a puncture, if we see these drivers, their tires are bad at the end, we could see some more punctures, and then this could change the whole finish of the race.
Absolutely, Joe. You make a tremendous point here. You got to wonder, Brandi, with some blistering pace so far, really throughout the duration of the Grand Prix so far, is he maybe at risk? Does he have to maybe manage tires here to the end? And will it allow maybe somebody like New Zealand Ryan, who is quick and great on tire management, close up on some of these guys if they have trouble up front?
Yeah, Ryan almost within a 1-second gap of Hoopalicious for the final podium position. I do want to thank all 28 viewers currently watching. Thank you for stopping, watching Tier 1 tonight as we come up on the final 2 laps of the race. New Zealand Ryan is within a second now, so we're going to see what he can do on these final 2 laps.
Oz Formula P7 haven't done a lot of talking about the Williams driver tonight. He is currently on pace to get a good result after a DNF last week at Austria, so I'm sure he'll be happy. PRL Williams, this is pretty par for the course for him. But nonetheless, he was in a great position to maybe finish up the order few more spots, but he's making a nice comeback here. He just is a bit under 4 seconds behind Oz Formula for P7.
Yeah, good looking for him. Williams on the fresher tire. I wonder if he can close that gap at the end, but regardless, for Austria Formula, that would be a good finish. Good confidence boost after the DNF last week.
Joe, take us up to New Zealand. Ryan, tell us about what you're seeing up there. I'm going to check the race director to see if penalties will play a factor in any other points finishing positions.
Yeah, and as I look, New Zealand Ryan, he's closing within 3/4 of a second as he picks up a 3-second time penalty, and B-Dunk lags out. I'm going to get him back into this very quickly. And then, sorry about that. As I look at the telemetry on Hoopalicious, he is going to have 50% more ERS.
Hoopalicious without a penalty right now, just 2 warnings. This is going to help the Red Bull driver. Hoopalicious, we see B-Dunk's ghost is going to drive into pits. No, this is going to be terrible.
B-Dunk.
It's not his fault. His AI is taking over control, and it's going to make him pit. This is going to allow FinFan to pass the McLaren driver for P5. Unfortunate for B-Dunk to be disconnected there. So we go back.
Yeah, that's very unlucky.
Up to P4.
On board with Ryan. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. Take us away.
Ryan, looks like his tires may be going off. He is losing on Hoopalicious. Hoopalicious might have the better tires at this stage because Ryan did have to battle back up. So he was pushing early in the stint. So he might just be trying to finish the race at this point, bring the car home. Looks like B-Dunk's going to get passed by
Oz Formula.
Going to get passed by, Oz Formula and possibly BRL Williams, as we still don't have him back in the race.
I'll send him another invite. I'll send him another invite.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very unlucky for B-Dunk.
You may have to try it, but I think invite game's logged out for me, so I can't get him back in here with an invite, unfortunately, for B-Dunk.
Yeah, I sent him a couple, but don't think he's coming back in. Unlucky break for him at the end of the race, but
yeah, we're sitting in a nice position of P5. The new order now as we go up front with Prandi, who's going to start the last flying lap under green conditions here. He's done a tremendous job. He is almost 5.5 seconds ahead of second place Chandler State. Prandi just absolutely been in control since the start of this race. Found a bit of luck when New Zealand Ryan, who currently sits P4 behind Hoopalicious in P3, jumped to start on accident. For our viewers catching the tail end here, New Zealand Ryan, very quick all day long, but again, had to make that drive-through penalty on the second lap there. But FinFan finds himself in P5. Oh, gets a little squirrely on exit onto the front straightaway. He's had a tremendous drive. This will be his best result in Tier 1, so congratulations there to the man driver. Oz Formula, a.k.a. Jack Lee, he's in P6. He will like this result after finding a bit of trouble in Austria. BRL Williams made a stop. One of only 3 drivers still running right now that did the one-stop strategy. He finds himself in P7, and he's closing quickly on Oz Formula, so we'll have to keep an eye out on that. And then B-Dunk sitting P8 right now. Go ahead. What are you seeing, Joe?
Yeah, I'm just riding on board with Prandi. He's going to be our race winner tonight, unless anything happens here in the final sector, which I don't believe will happen, but great race from him tonight. Chandler Seda. Looks like he tried to play his cards right, and it looks like it didn't work out for him tonight, but Hoopalicious, he's going to stay on the podium, abide any penalties in the final sector.
Prandi makes his way through the chicane here, through Club in the penultimate corner. Prandi, an absolute masterclass drive. He's going to be our race winner tonight, like you said. Comes around slowly. He's going to cross the line. Absolute masterclass drive. So we see Chandler Seda pick up P2. Nice drive there by Alpha driver. And Hoopalicious, man, he's just been quiet, not feeling well, under the weather. A bit of the flu, gets a little bit sideways, and he's across the line for P3.
Yep, Ryan come across P4.
Nice recovery drive.
Hoopalicious flu game. He's going to get the podium.
And FinFan making his way through the penultimate corner here. He's going to be really stoked with his results. Going to cross the line here. Nice drive, sir. Good. GG's to you. Oz Formula. ran around. And like I said, man, B-Dunk, after it shoveled through, going to be about P8, but Oz Formula crossing the line. I didn't check to see if he's got any penalties. RL Williams finished P7, B-Dunk looks to cross line in P8.
Yep, we got the. We're gonna go on board with Neymar. He's off track, gets a penalty. Fighting with Mean Fern.
Oh, he goes a bit deep.
Yeah. Respect to these guys at the back of the pack fighting through the whole race.
Absolutely.
They were all within a second.
Oh, Mean
of each
Fern's
other,
going to jump. ERS Ham Newton on time penalties. Neymars around, but he's cross line in P11. And then ABR, who found trouble with DRC Jared, he's going to be our final finishing driver in P12. Runs a bit deep. Looks to be.
Yeah, I'm lucky for him. He did have a puncture around lap 22, I believe. Ooh.
He's around.
Oh.
Tokyo drifting. And that's going to be the conclusion of our race tonight, with the Ferrari driver coming across as the final running driver on track. So, man, it was fun, man. What are your thoughts on it?
Oh yeah, great race tonight from Pirandi, winning the race by over 4 seconds on Chandler Seda. Chandler Seda, as we did here, tried to save the tires, but looks like the tires didn't really need saving, as Pirandi stayed on pace and beat Chandler, even if his tires were worse. Hoopalicious raced his race tonight and picks up the final podium position.
Yes, and what a recovery drive by New Zealand Ryan. He is so freaking quick, but able to come in, do the drive-through penalty. Unfortunate for him, he did jump the start of the race, but finishes P4, and that's going to be good for him as he looks to hold on to that points lead. But Pirandi making up a bit of points tonight, not much, but it's going to be interesting. The final, you said 10 races of this season.
Yeah, final 10 races of the season. Let's do a little rundown of our finishing positions. We got Pirandi with the win, Chandler Saita P2, Hoopalicious P3, Ryan coming after the jump start P4, FinFan stays the same P5, Oz Formula P6, BR Williams with the fastest lap of the race P7, B-Dunk P8, Mean Fern P9, and then ERS Ham Newton rounding out the top 10.
And BRL Williams pick up the fastest lap there with the 138.3, so that's going to give him the extra points. Congrats to him. I've commentated a few races with him, and I know he's been pretty pumped about his improvement in pace. So nice drive, nice race by these guys in the wet. Very challenging, like you said.
Yep, we're gonna get our podium finishers in here. I'm not sure. Pirandi left. I'm not sure if he's gonna join in. We're gonna try to get our P2 and P3. Hoopalicious. As we have Chandler. Chandler, remember to take your box, if you could, please, so we can get your audio in there.
Yep, I'm not included right now, but if you're trying to invite Pirandi, he does not do the interview.
Oh, he doesn't?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Hoopalicious, if you could include your audio for us.
Yes, sir.
Well, gentlemen, fantastic race by you both. It sounds like Pirandi's not going to be in here, but he did take P1. So I'm going to go ahead and start with our third finishing driver on track tonight. Hoopalicious, man, very quiet race. I heard you were a bit under the weather, but take us through your race.
Yeah, it was a pretty tough one. Because I was going karting today, and usually when I go karting, my mind I just get a huge headache, and it's hard to breathe and all. Yeah, but for the race, I think it was pretty okay. I wasn't happy with the pace, but I'll take P3.
Yeah, I imagine you saw New Zealand Ryan coming up quickly behind you, but I imagine you saw he picked up a 3-second penalty, which ultimately secured your podium finish tonight. So congratulations, and best of luck to you in getting better and getting back out karting and doing that, man. I'm very envious of you. So, but I'm going to turn it over to Joe to take it to our second place finisher tonight.
Yeah, Chandler, we had some inside information that you were trying to save the tires, but you fell back behind Pirandi and you couldn't get back up to him at the end of the race. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, partway through the race, the gap was about 6 seconds. I decided I'm gonna start pushing a little bit more because the tires were fine. They were gonna make it. So I started pushing. I got down to about 4.5, and then that's when I checked to see if he had a penalty. because if he had a penalty, I would have continued, and then if he didn't, I would have backed off, because at that rate, I might have risked the tires. And so I checked, he had a penalty, or no, he didn't have a penalty, sorry. And when I heard he didn't have a penalty, that's when I just backed off and I just was gonna keep P2. And in the end, he didn't have a penalty, so it was worth backing off and not risking the tires.
Yeah, we did see ABR Mattia, his wheel did blow up, so the risky strategy with the no stop, but you guys did it right tonight, so congrats to you guys on your P2, P3, and getting higher up in them standings. Hoopalicious, he's going to build his gap to Jared in P3, and then Chandler, you're going to get closer to Jared with the P2 finish for P4 in the standings, so congrats to you guys.
Awesome, guys. And for all our viewers tonight, thank you for watching the Breakout Racing League. This was our Tier 1 Xbox League, excuse me. If you guys are interested in joining, definitely check out the description. It's going to be in the stream information there on Twitch. And again, congratulations to our podium finishing drivers tonight. And then, Joe, I want to thank you for having me as your co-commentator. You did a marvelous job tonight.
Yeah, same to you, Sax, man. Had fun with you tonight, and that was it from round 12, I believe, of Breakout Racing League around Silverstone.
Stream done? Still says it's on.